Hey, it's Heather, and welcome to another adventure in gardening. Thanks for joining me in the garden today. It is the end of week 29, and there's just so much going on that I want to share with you in the garden. Things that have already happened, and things I actually want to walk you around and show you some of the highlights of the things that are looking really good in the garden right now. But I want to fill you in on what's been going on. We have had, so I'm just reminded that we have very little control over what happens with weather, okay? And every day is a learning lesson. Every year is a learning lesson. And last year, I just whined and cried about the drought. It was the drought. And this year, it is a wet summer. We've had some really wild weather pattern coming through. It seems like almost every afternoon there's like a thunderstorm, and we've done a lot of like cleanup. There's been limbs and sticks and branches that we've had to, clean up storm after storm. You roll with the punches though, that's what we do. Luckily, I haven't had to water as much as I did last year, but so with all of the rain that has come in, the blooms in the garden are so beautiful. We have had some phenomenal, the echinacea is absolutely gorgeous, and the daylilies are just so beautiful this year. And the black swan poppies, my first year growing those, oh my goodness, they were amazing. So I've left all the seed heads on them, and I'm gonna let them drop where they are, because I've tried them in different areas and only one spot did they really do their thing. So I was very excited about those this year. So with all of the rain though, has brought some powdery mildew and fungal problems. Cucumbers have some fungal problems going on, and the tomatoes and powdery mildew, oh my goodness. So I just keep removing the worst leaves on the tomato plants. So you just roll with the punches again. So also with all the rain this year, we have had crazy earwig population, and their favorite plant to attack has been the dahlias. And so because the dahlias are planted so closely together, it is a perfect haven for them, and they are loving it. So what I've been doing to kind of just control the situation is I get a bucket of soapy water, and I find the flowers that look like they are most eaten, and I cut the flower heads and drop them in this soapy water, and then all the earwigs try to come out, and they just drown in the bucket. So it's just a way of just controlling. You got to have the bucket under them, because they will just try to drop when you cut the flower. So hopefully I'll get a handle on that. So I have found, so one of my hobbies in gardening is to help the monarch butterflies on their way, and to plant for all the pollinators, not just the monarch butterflies. And I have found that if I can help that the first migration of monarchs that come through is kind of just like, we'll see a few of them starting in late June and early July. And if I can help those caterpillars to survive, then I'm going to have a boom. And man, am I having a boom right now. There are so many monarch caterpillars in the garden. And so I've done a few releases of butterflies, and I'm looking forward to the month of August being a very busy month for the monarchs. We have been busy working on our retaining wall in the vegetable garden, and it's coming along great. I'll show you when we're done. Of course, Penny had to be right in the midst of it the whole time and check out the wall, but we've been busy every weekend doing something on the wall. The garlic has been harvested this year, and I think I harvested about 200 heads of garlic. Oh my goodness. They're hanging in the sunroom right now, and they just smell fantastic. It was my first year growing shallots, and they were some of them were a good size, some of them were very small, but I did I braided them together to hang them to cure them, and I look forward to replanting most of those and having a lot more shallots next year. So they were super easy. I highly recommend, if you haven't ordered them, order them now. Order your garlic and your shallots right now. So you know, I have this beautiful fig tree that I've had for years, and I kept saying, its color is off, its color is off. And I had a pot in a pot. I was going to replant it. I should have replanted it a long time ago. And I because it literally busted a clay pot in half. I couldn't believe the root system on this fig tree. It's just unbelievable. So the lavender was gorgeous this week, and so I harvested some of the blooms and I made a big bouquet and wrapped some twine around the stems, and I just hung it as a decoration in the house. And I actually did this a few years ago, and it lasts. It keeps its color, and it's just a great reminder of summertime to have that in the house. So let's go look around the garden at some of the things that are looking really awesome right now. Okay, I wanted to share this is the hill, the hugelkultur hill, that is the second year that I am planting it, and I wanted to show you while it's at its peak, because I don't expect this to last much longer. Now I should have gone through and weeded, but I'm like, no, I'm just doing this today. So let me stand up and show. Well, I'll show you from this. So beans. Those are beans. There's a green beans down there that I planted later. Was it late March or early April that I planted all of the cole crops? The bare necessity kale, the scarlet kale, the Romanesco, broccoli Romanesco, and then in the back side are the ugly cabbage, which I'll show you in just a few minutes. So the cabbage, I'll show you the cabbage. I'll explain the cabbage, but this little area here, the ecosystem that I've got going on, number one, I'm having to I hardly ever water it, because you know everything is there's decay going on of the organic material underneath all of this, because it basically, hugelkultur is a big compost pile. I have right down in here, these are ground cherries. This is a weed. These are ground cherries that self-sow here, so I just let them, you know, go wherever they're going to be. I've had very few cabbage moth worms in here on the brassicas, because there are so many praying mantis living in here. Sometimes when I go through and like pick things, they'll come out and they're like, hey, 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 trying to scare me away. So, helicopter. So the reason I don't expect it to look this beautiful much longer is because I think things are going to start to bolt. So I love this bare necessities kale because it is tender all the time. Even the old leaves are tender and the stems are tender. It is wonderful. I throw it in smoothies. I love this plant. The scarlet kale kind of got pushed out a little bit. Didn't give it a lot of room, but it's still looking good. I'm still harvesting that. This is the Romanesco broccoli that, look, they're just tiny, tiny little heads, right? A little bit of a disappointment here. This is another one right here. You can see my next hugelkultur hill in the background here that, you know, basically it's a dump spot for me for all of the organic matter from the garden. So this hill right here, it's starting to sink a little, which should be expected because things are breaking down and compacting here. So I'm definitely going to have to add a lot more shredded leaves to this hill this year so that I can continue to revive it and keep on planting it. And I'll show you the green beans down in here. I know it looks like it's like this cramped thing, but everything just does so well. This is phenomenal. It's done very, very well, and I'm getting a lot of food. I am having kale every day. I'm having friends that are having kale every single day. And I just come along and I just keep breaking the outside leaves off. See a little bit of insect damage here from the Mexican bean beetle. I come through and I just send them on their, I send them to their final path. That's part of organic gardening. Let's see. So I will go around the back side and show you what's going on back there. Oh wait, there are some more mature ground cherries down here. Now, who does this to the ground cherries? The striped cucumber beetle. Yeah, but again, I hardly can find any of them. But if you look underneath here, look, there we go, looking good. Everything's looking really good here. So this is the back side of that hill that is planted. You can see how much higher it is than where I'm standing here. And so these are the cabbages, and I believe the cabbages are just about ready to be harvested. So who has done this? Slugs. Slugs have done this. So I have my little traps out down in there. I have my slug traps. So I'm going to be pulling these out. Notice that there's no slug damage anywhere else. It's just on the cabbage. So I'm going to be harvesting these cabbages and making some sauerkraut so I can keep it for a long time. Now also, not in the hugel, but just outside of that planted hugel is this zucchini that I have growing. So, and it's doing fairly well here. So look at this marble. This is teasel. Can you see that? Okay, so this is year 2 teasel. Year 1 teasel, there are some down below here. I'm going to be harvesting their roots for medicinal purposes. Year 2 teasel's job is to, oops, something's biting me. Yes, it is. Year 2 teasel's job is to drop the seeds to make more year 1 teasel. Now, teasel is one of those plants that I keep asking myself, am I going to be sorry I planted this? Am I ever sorry that I've planted things? Yes. I just hope this isn't one of those things. I'm pretty sure I can keep it under control. Huge difference between year 1 and year 2. Year 1 doesn't want to kill me. Year 2 totally wants to kill me. So not only do we have, can you see the thorns? All right, the thorns are on the stem and the thorns are on the leaves. Oh my goodness. So I have had to put on my gauntlet gloves to come down here and stake these guys so that I can walk through here and not get my skin shredded. But oh my goodness, look at this plant, right? Very, very interesting. I guess teasel's a great flower to put in like dried flower arrangements. So I'll try drying some of these because I do not want to let all of these seeds drop. Do I want to let any of the seeds drop? I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I might just harvest them all and then do it in a controlled manner. We'll see. But very cool plant, right? And the bees are enamored with this plant. They love it. So this is one of my favorite areas in the garden. This is the mountain mint. And the mountain mint, when it starts to bloom, oh my goodness, do we ever get the pollinators. Now it is still early in the morning, so they are just starting to get up. But you can still see a few of these guys. Now we will attract all different kinds of pollinators, and this is on a walkway right here, and I walk by all the time and they pay no attention to me because they just want the plant. Now there is one exception of somebody who walks through here that they will kind of get in an uproar over, and that is my dog Annabelle, because she won't leave them alone. She comes through and she sees them and she starts snapping at them, and and then they all kind of go up in the air, and yeah. But yeah, this plant can be a thug, and that's why you need to plant it in an area where it is your forever location. And this is my forever location. I just adore this plant. The kids like to take and break off leaves and use it as chewing gum. This is my favorite mint, because it's actually not a true mint, but it is an edible. This is my favorite mint flavor to make ice cream. Yeah, super yummy. So this is your Zen moment of the day. Isn't this great? I love this. And I'll share this with you again when it's like super populated with all of the pollinators. So my fall crop is planted, not the whole fall crop, some of it is planted. I've got, we're needing to water, I've got watermelon radish, I've got daikon radish, and I have some cabbages I'm going to try to do for fall. I've got some regular radish here. I did some more beans, but no germination yet there. I've got horehound that I have not actually gotten in the ground yet, so that's something that I need to get planted. I have green twister, echinacea in the back here that needs to get in the ground, and this is my final crop of basil for the year. This is Petra purple, I think. This is Greek basil, and this is the Genovese basil here. So yeah, still starting seeds. I still have a second fall crop that I will get together hopefully next week. And speaking of fall crops, check out these Rosa rugosa behind me here. I mean, I love this plant because it's growing somewhere where I need it to cover the ground, so I don't have to mow that ground because it's on a hill. And the benefit, I get blooms in the springtime, and I get vitamin C in these rose hips all winter long. So it's win-win, right? So, and here comes Penny. She's going to want to say hi. You going to say hi? She's like, I am annoyed by you. Okay, so that is a wrap for week 29. Thanks for spending time with me today, and I would love to hear about what's going on in your garden, so leave me a comment below, thumbs up if you enjoy spending time with me, and subscribe so we can stay in touch and you don't miss out on the next adventure in gardening. See you soon.